They say about Shadeur Sanders, all of a sudden, he shows up at the scouting combine, he doesn't work out. Oh, the meetings, it was the arrogance and all of this other stuff. I'm saying forget all of that. I believe that the biggest issue in all of this was primetime Deion Sanders.
It's not like it's out of the realm of possibility.
This has been a collective effort. Media, GMs, owners.
We don't have to be apologetic for Shadeur Sanders not getting drafted. 32 teams didn't draft him. They got 6 more rounds left in this draft and an opportunity for him to go pro.
You unlock your phone and it's everywhere. Shadeur Sanders went undrafted. The son of legendary Deion Sanders, the player who many expected to at least sneak into the later rounds, now sits without an NFL team calling his name. And the craziest part? It's not just sports fans reacting. It's celebrities, influencers, and athletes across industries weighing in. You scroll past video after video, post after post. Some are supportive, some are brutal. But either way, the message is loud. Shadeur's draft dreams didn't just stumble, they collapsed in front of millions. You start to wonder, how does someone with the Sanders legacy, the media buzz, the college highlights, end up watching the draft slip by without hearing their name? Was it about politics? Skill? Ego? Something deeper? Meanwhile, the reactions pour in. One celebrity posts, "Tough night for the Sanders fam," but real ones bounce back. Another tweets bluntly, "Hype don't equal heart. NFL don't care about last names." And you realize, this isn't just disappointment. It's a public reckoning. You ask yourself, is this just a setback for Shadeur? Or a sign that fame alone isn't enough anymore? And more importantly, how does someone so tied to greatness handle a moment like this when the whole world is watching? Because Shadeur isn't just facing the disappointment of one night, he's facing the weight of expectation, legacy, and public scrutiny all at once. And whether he likes it or not, the reactions from today will follow him long after the draft is over. This is bigger than a missed opportunity. It's the kind of moment that defines what happens next. You keep scrolling, and the reactions get even louder and sharper. It's no longer just sympathy or disappointment, it's division. Some celebrities rally behind Shadeur, posting messages about perseverance, grit, and the long road to success. Big names from the entertainment world drop Instagram stories saying things like, "This ain't the end, it's just the beginning." Athletes, especially those who went undrafted themselves, remind everyone that many NFL legends started from being overlooked. But then you see the flip side, the critics, the ones who don't hold back. One retired player goes viral for posting, "All flash, no fundamentals, NFL scouts saw through it." A popular sports podcast host laughs into the mic saying, "Deion spent more time building Shadeur's brand than his draft stock." And that's when you realize, this isn't just a Shadeur Sanders story anymore. It's a bigger conversation about what happens when fame meets reality. You start asking yourself, was Shadeur built for the spotlight, but not for the league? Did being Deion Sanders' son set expectations no one could meet? Or did it create blind spots no one wanted to admit? Even some fans feel torn. Comments flood in. "He's a beast. Teams are gonna regret this. He's good, but he thought he was guaranteed a spot. The NFL doesn't work like that." You can feel the tension rising. Because now, the conversation isn't about the draft at all. It's about whether hard work and talent are enough when your last name casts a shadow larger than life. And Shadeur, he's not just carrying his own disappointment anymore. He's carrying the weight of what everyone else thinks he should have been. Then you notice something even more brutal. The memes start. Not analysis, not advice, mockery. Clips of Shadeur smiling at previous interviews get stitched with sad violin music. Screenshots of his NFL draft watch party circulate with captions like, "When you realize dad's hype can't get you drafted." Even viral tweets pop up, some ruthless enough to rack up millions of views overnight. You sit there realizing, this is the new cost of public failure. It's not just disappointment, it's public entertainment. You wonder, how do you even prepare for that? When your lowest moment doesn't just happen in front of family and friends, it happens in front of millions of strangers with Wi-Fi and bad intentions. The conversation shifts again. Now it's not just about Shadeur missing the draft, it's about whether Deion's public persona hurt his son more than it helped. You see headlines like, "Did Deion Sanders set Shadeur up for failure?" When legacy pressure turns into a burden. And honestly, it's a fair question, because Deion spent months, years talking about Shadeur as a superstar in the making, about how different he was, about how ready he was. And now, silence. You wonder, did all the confidence and branding build expectations that the NFL simply wasn't willing to buy? Or was Shadeur a victim of overexposure in a world that values humble grind over polished Instagram moments? Either way, one thing is clear. The fall feels harder when you're standing on a mountain built by hype. And Shadeur Sanders, whether he wanted to or not, just learned that lesson the hardest way possible. As you keep watching the fallout, something unexpected happens. A few major celebrities break the pattern. Not athletes, not sports commentators, actors, musicians, people outside the NFL bubble. One A-list rapper posts, Shadeur's gonna eat. Y'all forgot Lamar, Brady, all them doubted too. A huge movie star tweets, this the new world. You fail once, they laugh. You succeed later, they forget they laughed. The tone changes, at least in pockets of the internet. It's no longer just pity or mockery. It's about resilience. And you realize the real ones see it differently. They've lived it. They know what it's like to be written off too early. You start asking yourself, is this Shadeur's rock bottom? Or his setup for a comeback story bigger than anyone expects? Because history has shown you nothing hits harder than someone with talent, rage, and something to prove. You look at the path laid out in front of him. He could retreat quietly, he could spiral under the pressure, or he could use this moment, the memes, the doubt, the betrayal as fuel. You can almost feel it building already. Fans posting he's cooking in silence. Instagram edits popping up with motivational music under old Shadeur highlights. Podcasters who mocked him now cautiously adding, wouldn't be shocked if he bounces back. Because deep down, you know, the public loves tearing someone down. But you know what they love even more? A redemption arc. And Shadeur Sanders right now has the perfect ingredients to create one. It just depends on what he chooses to do next. Then something even more powerful happens. Deion Sanders finally speaks. Not through a flashy post, not through a hyped up video, just a short clipped interview at a press conference. You watch it. Deion smiles, almost like he's seen it all before. He says, ain't nobody ever handed me nothing. I don't expect them to hand my son nothing either. Shadeur is built for storms, not sunshine. And that one line, it blows the conversation wide open. You realize this was never about draft night. Not really. It was about the making of a man. You sit with it. What's more valuable? A guaranteed first-round pick or the kind of grit that gets carved into you when the world counts you out? Shadeur didn't just lose a draft pick. He gained something else. Something most players don't get until it's too late. A real reason to fight. You start seeing it in real time. Training videos flood his feed. Quiet but intense. No captions, no bragging, no flashy edits. Just work. And the fans notice the narrative begins to shift again. Suddenly it's not Shadeur flopped, it's they woke him up. It's they're gonna regret this. It's undrafted? Cool. Let's see what he builds without the silver spoon. And deep down, you know, Shadeur's story isn't ending with this draft. It's just getting started. Because the hardest lessons, the ones taught in silence, away from the cameras, are the ones that make legends. And Shadeur Sanders, if he plays this right, is about to write a story that makes draft night look like a footnote. Now the energy shifts again. But this time, it's bigger than just sports. Shadeur's story starts bleeding into the culture. You see rap lyrics referencing him, motivational reels on TikTok flashing his highlights with lines like undrafted, undefeated mindset. Even college players start reposting Shadeur's training clips with captions like built not bought. And that's when it hits you. Shadeur Sanders isn't just bouncing back, he's becoming a symbol. Not of fame, not of privilege, but of the grind that happens when nobody believes in you. You start asking yourself, did the NFL accidentally create a monster? By passing on Shadeur, did they hand him something more dangerous than a rookie contract? A chip on his shoulder that won't go away? Because now, every workout clip he posts hits harder. Every quiet, no excuses video echoes louder. It's not about interviews anymore. It's not about family legacy. It's about building something in the dark where the real champions are made. Shadeur isn't chasing validation now. He's chasing something purer. Respect earned, not given. And you realize this is why people connect to these stories. Because deep down, everyone knows what it feels like to get overlooked, to get doubted, to be told you're not enough. But not everyone gets the chance to turn that pain into purpose. And if Shadeur Sanders keeps this momentum, his name won't just be tied to an undrafted night. It'll be tied to the comeback nobody saw coming, but everybody needed to believe in again. And just like that, you realize this was never about whether Shadeur Sanders got drafted. It was about what happens when the world tells you no, and you choose not to listen. You think back to the memes, the headlines, the podcasts mocking him. You remember the silence from the NFL that night? You remember the millions of eyes waiting for him to break, to crumble, to fade into a forgotten name buried under almost made it stories. But instead of folding, Shadeur made a decision. Work louder than the noise. You see it in every quiet clip, every early morning grind, every post that says nothing but shows everything. And you realize Shadeur isn't chasing a draft slot anymore. He's chasing something you can't measure in rounds or salaries or ESPN graphics. He's chasing self-made greatness. You sit with that and you start to wonder, how many of us would keep swinging when the spotlight moves on? How many of us would still bet on ourselves when the world cashes out early? Because in the end, Shadeur's real battle was never against the NFL scouts or the public's judgment. It was against doubt itself. And right now, with every silent grind, every unseen rep, every private promise to be undeniable, Shadeur Sanders is winning that battle. No draft night can take that from him. No headline can erase it. Because when the world stops believing in you, that's when you find out if you ever really believed in yourself. And Shadeur, he's just getting started.